There was a time when mountains, oceans, and deserts stopped human civilization. But humanity refused to stop building. Across the planet, gigantic megastructures now rise from places once considered impossible. Bridges stretching across endless valleys, mega dams controlling entire rivers, skyscrapers towering above the clouds like futuristic cities from another world. These are not just buildings. They are symbols of ambition, power, and engineering pushed beyond imagination. From massive highways crossing brutal deserts to artificial islands built in the middle of the ocean, every structure represents humanity's endless desire to go bigger, higher, and further. Some projects took decades to complete. Others cost billions of dollars and required technology never used before, and some were so enormous they can be seen from space itself. In this documentary, we will journey across the world to explore the largest and most unbelievable structures ever created. Projects so extreme they changed entire landscapes, and so ambitious they continue to redefine the future of our civilization.
Beijing Daxing International Airport. On the southern edge of Beijing, where the horizon blends into steel and glass, a massive structure rises, not just as an airport, but as a symbol of the future. The Beijing Daxing International Airport unfolds like a living organism, spreading across the land with 6 enormous arms, inspired by the shape of a starfish, yet built with engineering far beyond imagination. From above, it feels almost unreal. A single terminal, perfectly symmetrical, designed to move millions of people with seamless efficiency. No endless corridors, no confusion, only space, light, and motion. Inside, the scale is overwhelming. The ceiling curves like a frozen wave, allowing natural light to flood the entire space. There are no dense columns, only openness without limits, where architecture and technology merge into one. Facial recognition, intelligent systems, everything flows as a seamless experience. But beyond all of this lies ambition. Built in a remarkably short time, this structure has become one of the largest airports in the world, a gateway that connects not only a city, but the future itself. And as planes rise into the sky, what remains below is more than infrastructure. It is proof that humanity continues to push beyond its limits. This is not just where journeys begin. This is where the future takes flight.
Merdeka 118, Malaysia. Not every structure rises quietly. Some cut through the sky, sharp, precise, as if they were never meant to stop. In the heart of Kuala Lumpur, above a city already defined by height, a new form emerges. Not just taller, but different. Standing at over 600 meters, Merdeka 118 is one of the tallest structures ever built. Its surface, angled and reflective, fractures the light like a shard of glass reaching upward. From below, it feels endless. From above, it disappears into clouds. The spire stretches beyond perception, blurring the line between structure and sky. But this is not just about height. It stands beside a place where history was once written, now rising as a symbol of a future still unfolding. Because Merdeka 118 is not just built to be seen, it is built to redefine what comes next. Falkirk Wheel, Scotland. Water doesn't usually move upward, and boats don't rise into the sky. But here, both happen at the same time. In Scotland, where two canals once sat at different heights, a problem remained unsolved for centuries. How do you lift entire boats without draining the water? The answer became something unexpected. Falkirk Wheel, a rotating structure designed to carry boats and turn them through the air. As it moves, two giant arms rotate in perfect balance. One side rises, the other descends. Water stays level, boats remain still, as everything around them slowly turns. No sudden force, no chaos, just precision, where weight, water, and motion are perfectly controlled. Not a bridge, not a lock, but something entirely different, where engineering feels almost effortless. Beipanjiang Bridge, China. Some bridges cross rivers, others cross distances so vast they redefine what is possible. High above a deep canyon in southwest China, where mountains rise and fall like frozen waves, one structure stretches across the void. This is the Beipanjiang Bridge. Suspended more than 500 meters above the Beipan River, it is one of the highest bridges ever built on Earth. From below, it almost disappears into the sky. From above, it feels like a line drawn across nothingness. But this bridge is not just about height. For generations, these mountains separated communities, turning short journeys into long and difficult paths. Steep terrain and isolation shaped life here, until this bridge changed everything. What once took hours can now be crossed in minutes. A single span reshaped the rhythm of an entire region. Yet standing here, watching clouds drift through the canyon below, you begin to feel something beyond scale. The silence is deeper, the space feels endless. And for a moment, you're not just crossing a bridge, you're suspended between what was and what is. And then you realize, this is not just a road above a valley, it is a turning point where distance loses its power and the impossible quietly becomes part of everyday life. Machu Picchu, Peru. High above the clouds, where the air grows thin and the world feels distant, something waits, hidden in the mountains. Deep in the Andes of Peru, surrounded by steep peaks and drifting mist, a lost city reveals itself slowly, as if it was never meant to be found. Built in the 15th century, Machu Picchu stands as one of the greatest achievements of the Inca civilization. Stone placed without mortar, precision so exact that the structures have endured for centuries. Terraces cascade down the mountainside, blending into the natural landscape. Clouds drift through the ruins, hiding, revealing a place that feels suspended between worlds. No roads leading in, no clear explanation left behind, only questions about why it was built and why it was abandoned. Machu Picchu is not just a city. It feels like something left behind, high above the world, where time no longer matters. Angkor Wat, Cambodia. Hidden between jungle and time, where silence feels ancient, something rises from the earth as if it was never meant to be forgotten. In the heart of Cambodia, surrounded by forests that slowly reclaim everything, a vast stone city stands, unchanged, watching centuries pass. Built in the 12th century, Angkor Wat is one of the largest religious monuments ever created. A structure aligned with precision, designed to reflect both the heavens and the earth below. At sunrise, its towers appear like shadows against golden light. Reflections ripple across still water, mirroring a world that feels suspended in time. Every corridor, every carving holds layers of stories, carved in stone. But as nature slowly moves closer, roots, vines, and silence begin to reclaim it. A reminder that even the greatest creations are never truly permanent. Because Angkor Wat is not just a temple, it is a place where time, nature, and humanity meet.
Forbidden City. The Forbidden City, a symbol of power and grandeur, is the largest and best-preserved wooden palace complex in the world. With 980 buildings, it was not only the residence of emperors, but also a testament to the connection between royal authority and celestial mandate. At the beginning of the Ming dynasty, Emperor Yongle, after usurping the throne from Emperor Jianwen, decided to move the capital from Nanjing to Beijing and began the construction of the Forbidden City. This monumental structure was not just an imperial palace, but a symbol of divine power, reflecting the harmony between heaven and earth. Its design was based on ancient feng shui principles, inspired by the Z-Way constellation, the center of the sky, where the Emperor of Heaven resided. Every detail of the Forbidden City reflected the Emperor's unique role as the Son of Heaven. Today, the Forbidden City stands as not only a great cultural heritage site, but also a living proof of a dynasty's grandeur. Standing the test of time, it retains its magnificence and continues to attract millions of visitors, inviting them to uncover the untold stories of China's legendary power and celestial mandate.
Garden by the Bay, Singapore. What if a forest didn't grow from the earth, but was designed and built by human hands? In the heart of Singapore, something unexpected rises between glass and steel. Not towers, but trees, unlike anything found in nature. Towering above the ground, these vertical gardens glow like something from another world. Gardens by the Bay is not just a park, it's a vision of what nature could become. At night, the super trees come alive. Light pulses through their branches, turning the sky into a living canvas. Around them, cooled domes hold entire ecosystems, from misty mountains to tropical forests. But behind the beauty is a deeper idea. A city that doesn't just grow outward, but learns to grow with nature. Because Gardens by the Bay is not just about the future of architecture, it's about the future of how we live with the earth. The Great Wall, China. Across mountains, across valleys, over distances that seem endless, something stretches beyond the horizon, as if it was never meant to end. Through forests, deserts, and steep ridges, a single line cuts across the land, not shaped in a moment, but built over centuries, piece by piece. Spanning thousands of kilometers, Great Wall of China is not just one wall, but a network of defenses, designed to protect an entire civilization. It rises and falls with the terrain, disappearing into mist, reappearing along distant peaks. From above, it looks endless, like a path carved into the earth itself. Built with human effort across generations, in conditions that pushed limits beyond endurance, it carries the weight of history in every stone. because the Great Wall is not just a structure, it is a mark left by humanity across time itself. Colosseum, Italy. Some places don't belong only to the past. They still exist, in ways we cannot fully see. In the heart of Rome, one still stands, silent, but never truly gone. The Colosseum was not built to be beautiful. It was built to impress, to overwhelm, and to prove the power of an empire. A massive circle of stone, once the center of the ancient world. Imagine, over 50,000 people gathered here at once, their voices rising, the sand beneath stained by battles. The stories ended long ago, yet somehow they never left. Beneath the arena lies another world, dark corridors, hidden doors, where men and beasts once waited before stepping into the light. A system as complex as human nature itself. Nearly 2,000 years have passed, empires have fallen, yet the Colosseum remains. No longer perfect, but its fractures tell the clearest story of time. When light touches its ancient walls, this place is no longer just stone. It becomes memory, something that exists between real and unreal. The Colosseum is not just a monument, it is a trace of what humanity once was, and perhaps still is. Rio-Antirrio Bridge, Greece. There are places where land almost touches land, yet the sea refuses to let them meet. At the entrance of the Gulf of Corinth, where the earth never truly stands still, one structure rises against nature itself. This is the Rio-Antirrio Bridge, a gateway between worlds. From above, it looks almost unreal. 4 massive pylons rise from the sea, their cables stretching in perfect symmetry. At sunset, the bridge seems to float between sky and water. But behind its beauty lies a serious challenge. This region is known for its unstable seabed and frequent earthquakes. Building here was once considered impossible. Yet instead of resisting nature, the bridge was designed to move with it. Its pillars can shift slightly, absorbing the forces of waves and seismic activity, keeping the entire structure stable. Today, the bridge connects the Peloponnese to mainland Greece, turning what was once a slow ferry crossing into a smooth journey across the sea. But for travelers, it is more than just a road. As you cross above deep blue waters, with mountains rising in the distance, you begin to feel the true scale of both nature and human ambition. And in that moment, one thing becomes clear. Some bridges don't just connect land, they connect the impossible. Hoover Dam, USA. There are forces in nature that never stop moving. Water, pressure, time. And then there are moments when humanity decides to stop them. Deep within Black Canyon, where the Colorado River once carved its path freely, a wall of concrete rises, cutting through the flow and holding back something unstoppable. Completed in the 1930s, Hoover Dam became one of the most ambitious engineering projects of its time. A massive curved structure designed not just to resist water, but to control it. Behind it, millions of tons of water gather in silence. In front, the river continues, transformed, its power redirected into energy, into life. Built under extreme conditions, with heat, danger, and constant risk, it was a project that demanded everything from those who created it. Because the Hoover Dam is not just a barrier, it is a line between chaos and control. The Great Pyramid of Giza, Egypt. In a place where almost nothing moves, and time feels frozen, something rises from the desert, as if it was never meant to disappear. In the vast sands of Egypt, where the wind leaves only temporary traces, a massive form stands in silence, unchanging, unmoving, as if it's challenging time itself. Built over 4,500 years ago, Great Pyramid of Giza was once the tallest structure on Earth. Millions of stone blocks, placed with a level of precision that still has no complete explanation today. From a distance, it feels simple, a perfect shape against an endless horizon. But as you move closer, every stone, every edge, carries the weight of time and mystery. No modern machines, no advanced technology, only human effort, organization, discipline, and a vision far beyond its time. Because this is not just a structure, it is something left behind from a world we still don't fully understand. Petronas Towers, Malaysia. In the heart of Kuala Lumpur, two towers rise toward the sky. The Petronas Towers, where human ambition takes shape in steel, glass, and light. Standing at 452 meters, they were once the tallest buildings on Earth. But what makes them unforgettable isn't just their height, it's the feeling beneath them, where every line is precise, every angle in harmony, almost unreal. Inspired by Islamic geometry, every detail speaks of balance and order. As the light moves, the surface transforms, reflecting the sky itself. These towers don't just stand still, they breathe with the rhythm of the city. Suspended between them, the sky bridge floats high above the ground. Up here, you're no longer part of the city, you're above it, watching Kuala Lumpur unfold beneath your feet. As darkness falls, the towers awaken. Light spreads across their surface, turning them into glowing pillars in the night. No longer just structures, but energy, motion, the living pulse of the city. The Petronas Towers, not just skyscrapers, but a nation's dream, reaching into the infinite sky.
Guangzhou Circle. In the heart of Guangzhou, the Guangzhou Circle stands out as more than just a building. Its striking round shape makes it a true symbol of modern creativity. Completed in 2016, the Guangzhou Circle was designed by Italian architect Joseph Di Pasquale. This architectural wonder quickly became an iconic feature of the city's skyline. With its unique circular design, the bridge blends modern geometry with elegance. The structure stands tall, offering a different perspective from every angle. Housing both office and commercial spaces, it's built with sleek glass that reflects the sky and the bustling city below. A perfect mix of functionality and beauty. Standing before it, you feel the vastness of the space, as if the city itself is being drawn into this endless circle. Guangzhou Circle isn't just a structure, it's a landmark of a modern city, a visual testament to both innovation and identity.
Lake Pontchartrain Causeway, USA. In the middle of Louisiana's vast waters, there's a road that seems to have no end. The Lake Pontchartrain Causeway, the longest overwater bridge in the world. From above, it looks like a thin line drawn across the horizon. But once you step onto it, you realize this is more than just a bridge. Within minutes, the land behind you disappears. No buildings, no shoreline, just you, the road, and endless water stretching in every direction. It's quiet, almost surreal, a place where the world feels paused, and you become aware of how small you really are. Stretching nearly 38 kilometers, the bridge is held up by thousands of concrete pillars anchored deep beneath the lake. It may look simple, but it's a masterpiece of precision and endurance. For decades, it has stood strong, against wind, waves, and time itself. On certain days, thick fog swallows the entire bridge, turning the drive into something almost unreal. You lose all sense of direction, as if you're no longer on water, but suspended in the sky. Just a road, leading forward, into the unknown. As the sun begins to fall, the lake transforms into a mirror of light. The bridge becomes a glowing path, stretching endlessly toward the horizon. The Lake Pontchartrain Causeway is not just the longest bridge, it's a journey through infinity. Pelješac Bridge, Croatia. There are places where borders turn a short journey into something complicated. Along Croatia's coastline, that was once a reality, until a bridge changed everything. This is the Pelješac Bridge. Stretching across the clear blue waters of the Adriatic Sea, it connects the mainland to the Pelješac Peninsula. From above, it feels light and elegant, almost floating, surrounded by scattered islands and distant mountains. But its value goes far beyond its beauty. For years, traveling along this coast meant crossing into another country, interrupting even the simplest journeys. This bridge removed that barrier, creating a seamless route entirely within Croatia. Over 2 kilometers long, supported by strong pylons and cable systems, it stands not just as an engineering project, but as a solution shaped by geography and history. Yet for travelers, the experience feels effortless. As you cross above the open sea, with deep blue waters below and islands on the horizon, you begin to sense the meeting point between nature and human ambition. And in that moment, one truth becomes clear. Some bridges don't just connect land, they bring a nation closer together. Taj Mahal, India. In a place where silence feels heavier than sound and time moves more slowly than the air itself, something stands in perfect stillness, as if it was never meant to change. On the banks of a quiet river in India, a structure rises with impossible symmetry, not shaped by urgency, but by patience, precision, and intention. Built in the 17th century, Taj Mahal is not defined by size, but by perfection. White marble, carved with detail so fine, it feels untouched by time. At sunrise, it glows softly, almost unreal. At night, it reflects the moon, like a mirror suspended in darkness. Every angle, every reflection feels carefully balanced, almost deliberate. But behind its calm presence lies a story of loss and a desire to preserve something forever, not just in memory, but in stone. Because the Taj Mahal is not just a structure, it is what happens when emotion becomes something eternal. Panama Canal, Panama. 2 oceans separated by land. And instead of going around it, humanity chose to cut straight through. In the dense jungles of Central America, where heat, rain, and terrain resist every step, a narrow path was carved, connecting worlds that were never meant to meet. Completed in the early 20th century, Panama Canal transformed global trade forever. Not just a canal, but a system that lifts entire ships and moves them across continents. Massive lock gates close behind. Water rises, slowly, precisely, until ships are carried upward, step by step, from sea level to an entirely different world. But behind this precision was one of the most difficult engineering challenges ever faced: disease, landslides, and a landscape that refused to be controlled. Because the Panama Canal is not just a passage, it is proof that humanity can reshape the planet itself. Marina Bay Sands, Singapore. Imagine standing on the edge of a rooftop, where one step forward feels like stepping into the sky. In Singapore, there is a structure that doesn't just rise upward, it balances. 3 towers, holding something that should never stay in place. A massive platform, shaped like a ship, resting across the sky. At 200 meters above the ground, Marina Bay Sands challenges one simple idea: how far can architecture defy gravity? At the very top, an infinity pool stretches to the horizon. No visible edge, no clear boundary, just water, sky, and a city that feels infinitely below you. But what you see is only the illusion. Behind it is precision engineering, designed to carry thousands of tons, perfectly balanced above an entire city. Because Marina Bay Sands is not about height, it's about control over something that was never meant to be controlled.
Potala Palace. The Potala Palace, an architectural masterpiece, is a spiritual symbol of Tibet, standing strong through time and space. Located at an altitude of 3,700 meters on Marpo Ri Hill in Lhasa, it is the highest palace in the world, built from stone, wood, and faith. The origins of Potala date back to the reign of King Songtsen Gampo, the 33rd king of Tibet. His decision to construct the palace was a gesture of honor for his marriage to Princess Wencheng of the Tang dynasty and Princess Brikuti of Nepal. This act was more than a political milestone. It also marked the introduction and rapid development of Buddhism in Tibet, weaving religious and cultural significance into the very foundation of the palace. The Potala Palace quickly became not only the political heart of Tibet, but also the spiritual center, embodying the soul of Tibetan Buddhism and its integration into daily life. Today, the Potala Palace is a great cultural heritage, a witness to the spiritual and cultural development of Tibet. With its strong presence, it continues to shine and stands as a symbol of the enduring power of tradition and belief.
Eiffel Tower, France. Some structures aren't built just to exist. They're created to make the world pause and look up. In Paris, there is one like that. The Eiffel Tower doesn't resemble anything around it. Not as grand as palaces, not as ancient as cathedrals, yet somehow everything around it feels smaller. Built from thousands of interwoven pieces of iron, its structure feels both solid and impossibly delicate. As light passes through it, the tower doesn't just stand still, it moves with time itself. From above, Paris is no longer just a city. It becomes a flow, a rhythm, and you are only a small part within it. And when night falls, it is no longer made of iron. Light takes over, transforming it into something else, something that no longer fully belongs to reality. Maybe the Eiffel Tower was never just a structure. It's an idea, a dream that humanity reached for and somehow left suspended in the sky. Shanghai Tower. This building doesn't rise straight, it moves before it even reaches the sky. In the heart of Shanghai, surrounded by some of the tallest structures on Earth, one tower stands apart, not because of its height alone, but because of how it was shaped. Shanghai Tower is built with a twist, a subtle rotation that continues as it rises, changing form from base to top. From the ground, it feels massive, but from above, it feels fluid, like a structure responding to the air around it. The design isn't just visual, it reduces wind pressure, allowing the tower to stand with less resistance at extreme height. Inside, space opens vertically, layer by layer, creating an environment that feels more like a system than a building. It doesn't fight the forces around it. It adapts and keeps rising. Terracotta Army. They weren't meant to be seen. Not by anyone. Not in this world. Beneath the ground near Xi'an, China, hidden for over 2,000 years, an entire army waited in silence. Buried, sealed, and forgotten by time. Terracotta Army was created for one purpose, not to fight in this life, but to follow an emperor into the next. Thousands of soldiers standing in formation, each one different. Faces, expressions, details, as if they were once alive. No voice, no movement, only stillness, frozen in the moment they were placed here. warriors, horses, chariots, an entire army, recreated in clay but built with real intention. They were never lost, just waiting for someone to find them again. Yeongjong Bridge, Korea. There are gateways that don't begin on land, but over open water. At the edge of Incheon, where the city meets the sea, one bridge stretches toward the horizon, linking the mainland to the skies beyond. This is the Yeongjong Bridge. Crossing the waters toward Incheon International Airport, it becomes the very first path for millions arriving in South Korea. From above, its structure feels precise and modern, a seamless blend of suspension and cable-stayed design, balanced in perfect symmetry. But this is more than just infrastructure. It is the beginning of a journey. As you move across, the city slowly fades behind you. The sea opens wide on both sides, and in the distance, aircraft rise and descend. A quiet reminder that this bridge does not only cross water, but connects earth to air. The experience changes with time. Under daylight, it feels vast and open. At night, it transforms into a glowing line across the sea, guiding travelers toward new destinations. And in that moment, you begin to understand. This is not just a bridge to an airport, it is a threshold where every departure carries hope and every arrival becomes a new beginning. Palm Jumeirah Boulevard, Dubai. What if a road wasn't built on land, but on something humanity created from the ocean itself? Off the coast of Dubai, an entire island rises from the sea, not shaped by nature, but designed by human hands. Stretching across this man-made island, the Boulevard of Palm Jumeirah cuts through a landscape that once didn't exist. A road built on sand, formed into the shape of a perfect palm tree, visible even from space. On one side, endless villas facing the open sea. On the other, the skyline of Dubai glowing in the distance. Driving here doesn't feel like moving through a city, but across something entirely artificial, yet strangely alive. Millions of tons of sand and rock rearranged with precision to create land where there was only water. An idea that once sounded impossible, now turned into reality. Because Palm Jumeirah is not just an island, it is proof that humanity can redraw the map of the Earth itself. Sydney Opera House, Australia. Some structures don't need to be the tallest to make people stop and look twice. At the edge of the ocean, where the city meets the water, a strange form slowly emerges. Not following rules, not following straight lines, as if it doesn't belong to this world. Not a tower, not a bridge, but a series of sails, caught in the wind, frozen at their most perfect moment. Sydney Opera House doesn't feel like a building, but like something alive within the city. The light changes, and it changes with it. Morning, soft, almost silent. Sunset, glowing like it's on fire. At night, reflecting on the water, blurring the line between reality and illusion. But behind that beauty was a journey filled with doubt. A design once thought impossible to build, an idea far ahead of its time, and a decision to make it real. Because some structures are not created to be explained, only to be felt. Golden Gate Bridge, United States. What if a bridge didn't just connect two lands, but stood against one of the most dangerous straits on Earth? At the entrance of San Francisco Bay, where powerful currents collide and thick fog swallows everything in sight, a structure rises above the chaos. Stretching across the Golden Gate Strait, Golden Gate Bridge was once considered impossible to build. Relentless winds, unstable waters, and depths that made construction a constant risk. Suspended high above the ocean, its massive cables hold thousands of tons in perfect tension. From afar, it looks calm and elegant, but beneath it, the water never stops moving. For years, engineers pushed beyond limits, fighting nature at every step to create a connection where none existed before. Because the Golden Gate Bridge is not just a crossing, it is a triumph over forces that were never meant to be controlled. Burj Khalifa, UAE. What if a building didn't just rise above everything, but pushed beyond every limit ever imagined? A place where the sky is no longer the end. In the middle of Dubai's desert, a massive structure rises from the ground. Not like a building, but like a giant spear piercing the sky. At 828 meters, Burj Khalifa is not just the tallest building in the world, it is a direct challenge to nature itself. Extreme winds, harsh temperatures, and the force of gravity. Over 160 floors, hundreds of thousands of tons of materials, and a spiraling design that allows it to withstand winds at heights where aircraft once passed. Inside, everything moves vertically, like a city stretched into the sky. But the most incredible part is not its height, it's where it was built. A land once defined by sand, now home to the tallest structure on Earth. because the Burj Khalifa is not just a building, it is a statement that humanity can build anything, anywhere. Gate to the East. Some buildings rise to touch the sky, but others create a shape you can never mistake. And in Suzhou, the gate to the east stands like a monumental gateway within a modern city. Completed in 2016, the structure sits along the shores of Jinji Lake, becoming one of Suzhou's most recognizable landmarks, where tradition meets modern ambition. With its distinctive arch-like design, the building feels like a frame opening toward the sky. Two towers connect at the top, forming a silhouette that is both unusual and iconic. Its glass exterior reflects light and the surrounding city, while inside, the space functions as offices, hotel, and commercial areas, a modern system in constant motion. Standing before it, you don't just see a skyscraper, you feel the vast opening between its two sides. The gate to the east is not just a building, it is a frame, one that places the city within it, where every passing moment reveals a different perspective.